Special focus on Shelton right now, presented by Peninsula Credit Union. I'm at 1000 West Pine. It's the home of Public Works for the city of Shelton. We're going to be talking with Mike Albaugh, the superintendent of Public Works, also some of the other guys here on the crew, as this is kind of the epicenter during storms, snow, other sorts of problems that happen in the city. Public Works are the crews that come out, make sure you're able to get to your job. Here, as I mentioned, the superintendent of Public Works for the city of Shelton, Mike Albaugh. How you doing, Mike?
Good. How you doing, Jeff?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having us down here, and this is a real cool thing, especially after the last couple of months that we've had. We had some big-time storms and big-time snow. You and your crew here at Public Works really had to get out there on the roads and get people to work, and we're going to take a look at some of the ways that you did that.
Absolutely.
Let's go look at this new big rig here you got.
Yeah, this is one of our latest additions to snow and ice removal. It's a four-wheel drive Ford F550. It's multifunctional with the plow, and then we have our de-icer application with the spreader bar in the back, as well as the capabilities to spread sand or salt. So it's a pretty functional rig.
Now this looks almost, I mean, if F550 is a little bigger than kind of what you see on the roads, but still this seems like a pretty decent footprint to be able to navigate some of our streets.
Absolutely, and actually the turning radius on it is better than what you'd think too, so it's been a welcome addition, definitely.
So on the back here you said salt and sand, is that right?
Yeah, well, the capabilities in this hopper, we can either put salt or sand in it, and it has a spreader out the back here which broadcasts either salt or sand, and then also our de-icer application, which has a spreader bar here to be able to applicate prior to an event, and it makes snow removal, ice removal a lot easier, so that works out well.
What are the benefits of using salt versus sand versus the de-icer, or does it all
Well,
work together?
they all have their certain applications, but definitely salting intersections and hills prior to an event helps melt the ice and the snow a lot easier. And then the de-icer, of course, you'll see that's where you see the lines in the road.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, especially prior to an event. It's all about public safety. So, and a lot of it's timing. So if it's like raining big time and then turns to snow, we're not going to put the de-icer out.
Okay.
But we can still throw the salt out there and then hit and sand the intersections.
As we continue on now, this Focus on Shelton presented by Peninsula Credit Union. I'm talking with Todd Rose now. How you doing, Todd?
Doing well, thanks.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm going to talk now with you a little bit about how you prioritize the roads in town and which roads you do cover and which roads are not necessarily the city of Shelton's overview. So how do you guys determine that?
First of all, you have arterials, collectors, and residential streets. And your arterials would be like your Wallace Nealons, your Olympic Highway North, that type of street. And then your collectors are streets that lead into those. Those would be our priorities. The streets we don't do would be like any state highway. For example, the Highway 3 runs through the middle of town, and we will actually get it from Pine Street all the way up to Arcadia through town. It's just more advantageous for us to help the state out there. But anything going out towards Yacht Club is the state, and then past Arcadia is the state's responsibility, as well as 101.
And for sure, any roads that are right around the hospital or the fire halls.
Yep. Our emergency, or fire, we call them fire routes, but they go right past the hospital on K Street and 13th Street, and then First Street going past the fire station.
When you get a lot of snow and the people are in their house, they get frustrated. They look out, hey, how come nobody's coming plowing my roads? But you're not. I mean, it's hard to cover every residential street in the city.
Yeah. So, our priority is like the collectors and the arterials, just for emergency vehicles so they can get to where they need to go. And if the snow is continuing to fly, we will concentrate on those. If we get a break and we have more than like 6 inches on the ground, then we'll go into the residential streets and start plowing those. But anything under 6 inches, we usually just let the residential streets go, because if we plow it, we'll leave big windrows, and then people can't get out of their driveways then, where if there's only like 4 or 5 inches, they can get out and get to where they need to go through that amount of snow. So
And then when you're encouraging folks as they're driving through this, what are some of the things that you do, your checklists for when you're driving your personal car to get through on inclement weather?
Personally, just kind of know what your vehicle can do beforehand, and then like when we're trying to make the decision where we come in and sand or we have a snow event, we'll just come in and try to stay on top of it before you get that base layer of ice or compact snow. If you can stay on it, you keep that peeled up, and then keep your treatment on it. You can you'll have maintain a good driving surface.
Most of these trucks are pretty heavy. Do you put chains on them ever?
If you get to where it gets the compact snow turns into ice, and we'll chain up. This year we didn't have to, but in years past we have. So
we are here at the end of January. It's a beautiful day today, but we're still in the middle of winter and could definitely see some more snow here, and that's why Public Works is working hard to make sure that the roads around Shelton are passable and available for you to get to where you need to go. Todd, thank you. It was good to talk to Public Works here today during this Focus on Shelton, presented by Peninsula Credit Union.